Time changes are challenging, I know.
Yeah, and the silly thing is I've actually had that specific thing before where I was abroad in Europe and Google changes your calendar by an hour. So you put in an appointment for 6 and then later it's 7 or 5. So yeah, sorry for keeping you waiting for
That's
so long
okay.
there. So Iris, yeah, I've been looking through your profile and these documents and seeing the things you're doing. Yeah, I'm interested. Firstly, if you're happy to kind of to jump in and tell me if you're not. The first curiosity I'm noticing in myself is just wondering how you've kind of come into all of this stuff.
Great. Well, I started out teaching a community education class, and as an instructor, I could take any class for free, so I studied palmistry. And palmistry's been my first primary love. And I did a lot of party and event entertainment, doing palmistry professionally over the last 35 years. And then I went to Mexico and I had a chance to study the Mayan astrology, which I really enjoyed. I was able to go to a lot of the pyramids in Mexico and study under Jose Arguelles, who is a wonderful man who is a Mayan astrology expert. And then I was teaching a class on empowering and conscious language. And I thought, how wonderful to take that information in Mayan astrology, everyone's personal insight, and use empowering language with it. So I wrote my own visionary interpretations using conscious and empowering language. And now I'm doing readings for people all around the world and doing a lot of party and event entertainment. And it brings me a lot of joy.
So you're bridging some quite unusual, maybe unique sort of intersections of these different philosophies and practices and kind of tools, huh?
Yes.
And where do you, does it feel very experimental still, like you're still very much in the middle of exploring the potential interrelationships between these different things, or do you feel like you've really settled on a kind of recipe of your own style? And
Well, I have to say I have settled on my own recipe. I mean, I've been studying Mayan astrology and working with it for a long time. And it's really great because I have these interpretations. I've spent a lot of time working on them, interviewing Mayan people in Mexico, studying Jose Arguelles, integrating and studying empowering and conscious language. And I'm getting such fabulous response from people around the world who love their Mayan astrology readings. What I love about the empowering language, Luke, is that it allows you to claim what you consciously choose. So it has beginning sentences like, you are, you can, you will, you have, you thrive, you create, you enjoy, you celebrate, you love. And it really allows people to claim the goodness of the possibility of these empowering readings. And one of the cool things is that because they're in a written format, I can share them all around the world. And also I'm considering offering it to other people as a form of event entertainment. And because it's written and people just have to do simple calculations, basically anyone who speaks English, and I'm getting it translated into Spanish, but people can also use it as event entertainment in wherever it is that they are. So I'm really excited to empower other people. Doing palmistry, I hired a lot of other readers because there's only one of me. And some of the events I worked were quite
I'm not
large.
sure I believe that.
So it was really fun to put single mothers or senior citizens, people who needed work, to be able to allow them to do the Mayan astrology. Because if they read well and slowly, then they can deliver my interpretation. So it makes it a pretty easy form of event and party entertainment.
Okay. So, let me throw a spanner in the works then,
Sure.
to mix it in with everything. So, I'm interested how much you've encountered people who, at least their initial reaction is, wow, this is really alternative stuff. It's unicorny and sort of out of this world, and I can't relate to it. And yeah, what do you say to those people?
Well, I don't get those people very often. I really feel like it's written for the average individual, even though it's written in kind of a spiritual way. I really see it as more of an empowering way. And once in a great while, someone misses something. But for the most part, people talk about the things that they can relate to. So I'm real happy about that. I do my best with all of my writing, because I've been an author for many years. They say most people have about a 10th grade educational level, so I try to speak to that level. I'm not one of those people that tries to speak above people's heads, because my whole passion is to connect. And I've also studied clinical hypnotherapy. That's my other profession. So I work a lot with language.
So this is a beautiful desire or calling, to connect with people. But so, if I may inquire into the depth of that, like why for you is that such an important thing to connect with people? To what end? What's behind it?
Thank you so much for asking that question, because I'm really anxious to answer it. What I've learned over the years of doing party and event entertainment as an intuitive reader, or Mayan astrology or palmistry reader, is that there's something very powerful about being the supportive, encouraging, and honoring stranger. And when you intuit things about people that are empowering, that are true, when you point out potentials that people innately feel, when you can see challenges and tell people how they're progressing, it's all about being able to be supportive and encouraging for people. And who doesn't need more encouragement and support? It's important. We all need it. And so it's more of a progressive form of party and event entertainment, and a lot of people love it. I do a lot of corporate things, bachelorette parties. People are looking for something a little bit more meaningful, and that's where my work comes in.
Do you have a story that you're able to share? Does anything come to mind that you feel comfortable and able to share of when you've brought some of this work into a group?
I did a Harry Potter event. It was to raise money for a good cause. They were having a huge event and then showing one of the movies early. And it was in Denver, Colorado. And I did something for this there was a beautiful young Asian girl. And at the time I was doing palmistry. But I asked her, I said, would you like me to tell you what I see and appreciate about you, or would you like to ask me a question? She said, I have a question. She said, I want to know if there is a way for me to use my compassion in the future to make a difference in the world. And I about fell off my chair, and I talked with her about the beauty of compassion, all the different ways I could imagine her using her compassion in her future. And when it was over, I just looked at her mother like, do you know what you have here? This amazing child, that's 8 or 9 years old, talking about compassion. So, every now and again, I run across these people or these young people even, who are very, very clear about universal values. And to me, that's what it's all about, is compassion and kindness and connection and honesty and empowerment. All of those universal values are truly universal. And that's where we come together, in a sense of oneness and connection. And that's oftentimes what spiritual readings will do with people, is they feel that support and encouragement. And that's really the foundation of it for me.
So spiritual is an interesting word, I think, because in my very individual life growing up in England, and partly in the city and partly in the countryside, and in a variety of kind of social groups, some of whom would identify themselves with very alternative and spiritual kind of practices, and others who really would not. I'm interested in how you define spiritual, at least in kind of the work you do with people. Like, what does it mean for you? Because some people have different definitions and experiences of it, huh?
Well, I notice that a lot of people use religion and spirituality like interchangeably. And I understand that for some people, their form of spirituality is their form of religion. However, all of a sudden I lost your sound. Oh, there you are.
I was just coughing.
It's
That's me
okay.
trying to be discreet.
No, that's cute. Um, what I do find, however, is that for a lot of people who are not necessarily, oh, my mic is off. You can hear me okay? Oh,
I think it's just my microphone I'm muting, not yours.
okay, I'm so sorry. Just checking. So I think that for a lot of people who aren't interested in necessarily religious aspects of spirituality, there is a whole other form of spirituality that's all about kind of what I mentioned before, sort of moving beyond the personality dramas, more into a universal sense of being or a universal sense of oneness, where we do find connection. And again, I believe that we connect through universal values, things like love and trust and compassion and kindness. All of those things, I think, are universal. And I just really love it when people are willing to open themselves up to be encouraged, to be supported, and find a sense of universal connection. Because, you know, while many people say love is the most powerful way that we all connect, I would also say that love has a lot of different connotations. And I think gratitude, when people are really grateful for each other, and have a lot of gratitude in their lives, that really changes the whole dynamic of their life. And people are always grateful for encouragement and support. Does that make sense to you?
It does. It does. So, who do you think you would like to see this video or snippets of this conversation potentially?
Potentially people who might be interested in looking at more progressive forms of entertainment, like palmistry, astrology, tarot, Mayan astrology. There are many different types of readings that people offer now for event entertainment. And also someone who might be interested in having their own entertainment business like I have had and work for events. It's actually the funnest and best money I've ever made. Which makes me really happy. So I'm anxious to empower other people. And when I offer this, I'm also offering scholarships, especially initially for single parents and for seniors. I've hired them a lot in the past. They're dependable, they need the work, and most of them read well and they love it. And I have to say, doing this kind of work has facilitated my personal growth very, very strongly. And I know that it will others as well. Because when your intention is to deeply connect with people and to be of service and to honor and appreciate and acknowledge them, amazing things can happen in terms of that connection or insights that come to you and questions that they may choose to ask. So, interpersonal exchange is a really wonderful way to have events that are upscale and interesting. And a lot of my clients say the interesting thing about having you at my event was that instead of people gossiping about each other, they were all talking about their talents and their skills and their abilities through the reading. So that's always nice to hear.
That's so nice. Hmm. Anything else that you feel has not been said that feels important that you want to bring in? There hasn't been an opportunity so far chatting?
It is the funnest work I've ever done and the most meaningful work that I've ever done. And party and event entertainment is really changing because people are looking for things that are more meaningful. I also do comedy, which is a lot of fun. I have a comedy show called Ranting of a Psychic Grandmother. And I have a lot of really funny awards that I do in my comedy routine. I have things like Mindless Moocher, Master of Con Artistry.
Is any of this stuff online or is it all
Oh, yeah.
secret? Yeah? Okay.
Yes, yep, it's all online. And so my primary website for my entertainment is mysticalentertainers.com. And my email is mysticalentertainers@gmail.com. And then I have another website where I have all of my fabulous awards called anonymousexpressions.com. I also have all of my awards on Etsy. I have an Etsy shop that's called Evolving Genius Awards. And so I really love to write. I have a lot of positive honoring awards as well as really funny, sassy ones. And people really love that in event entertainment. So I have a lot of different things I've evolved over the last 35 years. I'm much older than you. So I've had a lot of time and experience to take my love of lifelong learning and turn it into ways to deeply connect with people and to bring laughter and fun along with the insight.
So tell me a little bit more about then how people bring you in then. Firstly, where do you do this geographically? Is it all in person, or you also do some stuff remotely? Because you do a few variations on activities with similar themes, hey? So where do I need to live, and what sort of formats and groups do you sort of cater to? The practical stuff.
So I live outside of Denver, Colorado, and people will hire me sometimes to show up at somebody's, a gentleman's 60th birthday I just did, and I gave him a beneficial bullshitter award from his family, which was really a lot of fun. So sometimes at events, I show up, I offer someone a lifelong learning award, which is real positive and real fun for a milestone 60th or 70th birthday. And then I also do the comedy routine. I just did it for a local nonprofit in my area, which was great because a lot of my awards are very honoring and wonderful. I have, loving kindness, lovable laughter, honorary caregiver of light awards. I have all kinds of really fun honoring awards. So I was able to appreciate these people in a real positive, fun, uplifting way. And then, of course, poke fun at all of our dysfunctional behaviors, like the Morbid Martyrdom Award. That one a lot of women can relate to. Passionate Pack Rat, Master of Con Artistry. They're really fun. Drama Queen of the Universe. So I have these great awards, and someone can say, oh, I know someone who's a drama queen, and I can give them the award, and then they can pass it on anonymously to a girlfriend, to a sister. Maybe someone has a passionate pack rat that they want to give a wake-up call, and so they will anonymously share the award. And they're really fun because they're funny, and yet they're also poignant. And when they're given anonymously, that way no one gets thrown under the bus. It's just an opportunity to look at the message. It's about the messenger, or it's about the message, not about the messenger. So it's a lot of fun.
Super cool. Ah, lovely. All right then. I'm gonna sort of check out with you a bit after we sort of close, but do you want to close the sort of main part of chatting about you and your work there, or is there anything else you want to add?
Well, the main thing is I just really want to thank you for your time and your energy and your interest in who I am and what I do. It's a little bit fringy, but it's becoming more and more mainstream all the time as people are looking for entertainment that's more meaningful. And I also want to say that I really hope that I can find someone in London who wants to do this party and event entertainment over there, because it is very empowering for people. It is very insightful. And I know you and I connected on Simbi, and you can look and see that I have tons of amazingly, positive responses to this work. And I just did one for someone in Kuwait. So that's incredibly exciting for me to be offering these around the world. So thank you.
Pleasure. All right, cool. And the curtains close.
Lovely.
There you go. So just because I haven't spoken about it much. This Hangouts on Air tool will create a YouTube video you can make public or unlisted, and you can download the file if you want to, or you can trim the beginning and the end on YouTube as you like.
Good. So
yeah,
how do I access that? Do you send me a link to it on Simbi?
Yeah, I'll do it straight after the call.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
I love how easy this was.
It's cool, eh? Yeah.
Sometimes it's quite difficult to connect.
Yeah.
Just to click on a link and connect is so simple. So I appreciated the ease with which you had this all professionally put together. So I wanted to give you that feedback.
Yeah. counteract a little bit of my calendar cock up there.
Oh,
Just
it's
out of interest, if I can ask a really geeky little question,
yeah.
what are you using to talk to me right now? Are you on a PC or a Mac or what web browser?
I'm on a PC.
Okay, and it's Chrome, Google Chrome web
Yes.
browser. Okay, So yeah, it's Google Chrome software. That's maybe why it's so quick and easy. But
Oh, good.
cool. Hey, that was really nice to
And I would like to
learn.
I would like to
Yeah.
offer you as a gift. I would like to offer you as a thank you or as a tip.
Hmm.
You're Mayan astrology through Simbi. So
Mm-hmm.
if you would like to receive that, I would like to
Yeah.
have your birthday, and I will
Yeah.
send it to you.
Sure.
So tell
So
me when you're
my birthday is the 16th of February, 1986.
okay. Cool. I will look forward to doing that for you so you can see just how far out there I am. And at the beginning, I always tell people that it's to be read slowly, saved, and contemplated. You know, it is pretty
Okay.
thick and pretty rich. But having someone else read it to you so that people can just listen and take it in during event entertainment is also really helpful, because a lot of times on Simbi, when people get them, they just read through it really quickly because they're used to reading quickly. But it's really to be read slowly and kind of saved and contemplated.
So you have time to digest it, hey? Just like eating
Exactly.
food. You don't want to eat a meal too quickly.
Exactly. So tell me a little
Yeah.
bit about you real quickly.
Yeah, sure. Well, I'm in Brighton at the moment. This is where I live. I'm actually. I want to show you this because it's nice. This is the sea.
Oh, how lovely.
And today I'm working with my best mate. We work on a social enterprise together that's like 2 years old and has no money yet. But we've been volunteering on it for like 2 years, and it has a very big vision to create a way for absolutely every man, woman and child to raise lots of money for their favourite charities and projects just by meeting each other one-to-one and volunteering their time and skills to help each other. So instead of taking payment for that help, the money all goes to whatever cause they want to support.
Good for you, a visionary. I love that.
So yeah, it's a real grassroots like community solution that only works if everyone wants to be part of it.
Lucky finding you on Simbi. That's so cool.
Huh.
And it makes me wonder too, quickly, if you're familiar with what they call time banks.
I am indeed, yes. I'm quite a research geek, so I've spent a long time, just because I work a lot in NGO social innovation sort of space, and something that baffles me a lot is how little time most people seem to put into just looking at who else out there is doing the same thing, or at least something similar. And there's a handful of projects that are doing things with like similar sort of themes, but so like time banks and let schemes, as we have at least in the UK, Simbi of course, economy of hours, they're beautiful, and they do the connecting people one-to-one, like including around a sort of social focus, I guess.
Yeah, I just became aware of time banks, and I'm very excited about them because I've been loving Simbi. Simbi makes me feel like a real tapped resources. People are loving my ebooks. They're loving all the things I offer, and I just think it's revolutionary, and I really honor you for seeing that. And I love the way it builds community. Again, it builds community, it builds connection, and we're losing that one-on-one. You know, so good for you. Good for you.
Oh man, one really fun gig I had recently on Simbi was with this woman who's a professional researcher, and it just everything tied together so nicely around it, because in Dignity Platform, our financial sustainability model, our revenue model is rather than being for profit and being like Uber or Airbnb, where every time a gig is completed, so two neighbours meet and one helps the other, we charge a fee. We wanted to do something a bit different, a bit more daring, experimental. So we wanted to be pay as you feel. So not just donation, like there's a donate button that we hope that some people will click on whenever they feel like it, but rather we integrate it very much into the booking process. But we just go, you can choose, like, how valuable is dignity to you. Like, here's a bit of information about what the money goes on and X, Y, Z. So that's the vision we're working towards. And so this lovely woman who I met on Simbi, we worked together on a piece of research looking at where pay as you feel works and is actually proving sustainable in organisations big and small around the world.
Wow.
And ultimately identifying a small handful of factors that seem to make it work or fail. And that just felt incredibly
Priceless.
interesting. Yeah, literally, yeah.
Oh, that's
Yeah. So that was super cool. And now I'm really itching to go into some maybe more established kind of projects that are using Pay As You Feel now. Like, we have an awesome project here called the Real Junk Food Project, because it's food that was otherwise going to go in the bin. So it's surplus from supermarkets or restaurants, and so it's cooked up by volunteers, and the result is a donated venue, and ultimately people can come in and pay as they feel for a meal of food that would have been otherwise wasted. And so you can imagine the diversity of people that are brought together there to share a meal at the same table.
That.
So it's beautiful. Oh, it's so nice.
Oh,
But they're struggling a bit to cover costs, but doing a bit of an analysis after this research with this woman Priya, I identified that they're doing 0 to maybe 1 of the 5 things that we identified. And so we're like, if they were just doing 3 or 4 of these things we recommend now, like, it would be amazing to see if actually they'd be thriving. It could be a sort of shining beacon of, because Pay As You Feel is a political statement. I feel like it's like, we will not make a financial barrier, but we also don't want to become part of a sort of lack ourselves. We want to be abundant in ourselves, but also able to enable others into abundance too. I feel like Pay As You Feel.
Visionary. I love that. I have to tell you my definition of a visionary, because I think you might appreciate it, because I think it fits for you. And this is from my own personal experience. So for me, a visionary is one who is inspired and haunted by humanitarian ideals. So it's one thing to be inspired, but it keeps coming, and it keeps, driving something, haunts us and takes our inspiration and drives it. So for me, it's being inspired and haunted by humanitarian ideals, so that I keep moving in the right direction. And every now and again I go, oh, that's a great visionary idea. Someone else who's smarter than me, who has a better education or whatever, should do that. And then every now and again I get this sense, like, why me? And it's like, well, maybe because you're the only one who's willing to do it. Maybe I'm not the smartest, maybe I'm not the most qualified or educated, but what if I'm the only one who's really willing to do the work? So, I sit with things like that, and it's important to me.
What if I'm the one who takes what if beyond a question?
Absolutely. And so I had to get past, maybe I'm not the smartest or the most educated or whatever, but like you said, what if I'm the one who takes what if and actually makes it happen, because I'm willing to put the energy into it, because I have the vision that drives me. So good for you.
Thank you.
I look forward to staying connected and seeing what you do and how you do it. And I think who knows how that might go in the States as well. I just think all of these things are revolutionary, and I think it's so important, a new economy. The taxes are killing us. And the lack of connection. And people, one of the things I love too about a trade economy is not only does it make people feel more generous, and not only can I give Simbi credits to other people around the world and time bank credits, so I've been giving readings and massage and things to other people in other areas, because I can do that through Simbi. And I love all of that. And I also love that people learn to manage their expectations a little bit better with the trade economy. With money, people get all, oh, it's my money and I need to have it exactly my way. And they get really ego driven when money's involved, where sometimes with the trade economy, everyone feels generous. We learn how to kind of manage our expectations, and we become less judgmental. And how wonderful is that in the world, right?
That's a really nice way of looking at it. Yeah, I really like that angle. Rather than just seeing a human being as primarily a source of consumerist transactional culture. Yeah,
exactly.
Like, and if we could just extend that philosophy to nature as well, that would be nice. See an apple tree as more than just a source of apple in my mouth now, and recognise it more as a nest for birds and creating oxygen and helping the soil and all the other millions of things that it's in service to.
Absolutely.
Oh yeah, you're also a mum and a friend and an amazing daughter, and I'm gonna remember that you're more than just my video editor or my person who's late delivering that thing, or you haven't immediately read my mind and understood exactly what I wanted as soon as I thought it.
And that's why that connection is so important, and we're finding new ways to thrive in our connection, and that's exciting to me. And I really feel that with Simbi. I see young people honing their leadership skills. I see people being able to, through a trade economy, try on some new things and learn as they go. Like a lot of people offering, tarot readings and spiritual readings. It's great. I've been doing it forever, and now I just do upscale party and event entertainment. But it's great to see people, and to see someone who is a mother of an autistic child who says, I want to support other mothers of autistic children. I want to support somebody else with my same issues, being gay, transgender, or whatever their issues are. I can feel those people healing as they offer their wisdom and support and compassion to other people with the same issues.
And that's the haunting for me, and what you were identifying in the visionary thing. It's the unrest that lies in creating meaningful change.
Yeah. Awesome.
All right, my dear, lovely to chat to you, really.
Yeah, thank you so much
Pleasure.
for your time. Mine as well, absolutely. Thank you.
I'll just message you in a minute on Simbi with info about how to get this video and trim it and stuff.
Great,
So,
and I
I'll
will
chat to you on there.
I will give you your Mayan astrology reading before you know it, in the next couple days.
All right, have a lovely rest of your day.
Thank you.
See you later.
Thank you so much. Okay.